of debate.
The history of debate goes all the way back to 5th BC in Rome, while it has been a part of the culture of Jewish people under the concept of argumentative learning. The professional debating emerged much more recently as 18th century London, where the first debating societies emerged.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the inaugural Smart Debaters, the debate competition series conducted by the Institute of Smart Students. Over the course of this exhilarating journey, we will witness the clash of minds and ideas in a series of debates that promise to ignite intellect and challenge different perspectives.
From the initial 4 qualifying debates to the winning semi-finals, culminating in the highly anticipated final debate. Each stage will showcase the finest in rhetorical prowess and critical thinking.
First and foremost, let us meet Honorable Board of Judges for the first debate, Mr. Karan Baragna, Ms. Nuslanias, and Ms. Pressure Lakshan. Thank you for your representation.
So, get ready to witness the power of words and the art of persuasion unfold before your eyes, as this is not just a competition but a celebration of knowledge, skill and the spirit of intellectual inquiry.
Thoroughly, I don't know why everyone is so obsessed with microorganisms. You know, they are just tiny germs that make us sick. That's not entirely. Some can be pathogenic while many are beneficial. Are you sure? Because I still don't believe in them. Tarun, what do you think? Are microorganisms favorable or harmful?
Well, I am on the fence now, but we could come to a conclusion after today's debate. So, good evening ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's the debate on the topic of are microorganisms favorable or harmful.
Before we dive into the universe of microorganisms, we'll meet the two debating teams. Representing the profession, we have Paman Kavitma, the leader of the proposing team, Senior Khan, Rasalini Klesha, Kaumadi Shakunya.
Accepting the proportional team challenge, we have Desadu Amoda, the leader of the opposing team, Ninuli Sehansa, Nikila Ahimsa, and Ganesha Dulni.
So, without wasting any time, let this debate commence. Please give a big round of applause for both the teams. Imagine a life burning in the sun, freezing from the cold, and not being able to treat diseases and not being able to treat diseases. So, what would the life be like? It would be miserable. But not until the microbes come into the topic. These tiny creatures help the people in order to cure from diseases, in order to maintain a healthy lifestyle. So, impartial board of judges, dear teachers, dear parents, and my dear brothers and sisters. Do you eat sandwiches? You do, I do, and we all do. So, from the sandwiches you eat to the pickles you gobble down, everything involves the contribution of microorganisms. These microorganisms help to preserve these foods in order for the prolonged consumption. And if we take the plants all around us, the plants need the microorganisms in order to grow healthy. How does that happen? Because the microorganisms who are present in the soil involve the growth of the plant. And if you take the plants like leguminous plants, the root nodules in those plants have rhizobium and acidobacter in the root nodules as well as in the soil. So, these microbes help the plant to absorb nitrogen from the atmosphere and convert it into a favorable form in order for their consumption. And if you take ecological balance, well, imagine living surrounded by dead bodies all over us. The world will be so miserable because the microorganisms help these matter to compose down and to have an ecological balance in our ecosystem. So, let me tell you a story. Well, once there was this doctor the reason they have found antibodies which prevent the microbes from entering and to cure diseases. How does that happen? Because it was always there. You and me and everyone present here have those antibodies in our body. So more than 57% of our body is composed of microorganisms. So remember, even the microbes are really tiny and they are mostly invisible. It doesn't mean that they can't do lots of things. It means they can do a lot. So always remember that even though the black pepper is really tiny, it is really spicy. Thank you.
My dear impartial judges and ladies and gentlemen. Today I am here to talk about the harmful effects of microorganisms. Today I am going to look at the human side of this. I am going to start with the bubonic plague. The bubonic plague caused by the bacterium Yersinia pestis was one of the most deadly pandemics in human history. It happened in 14th century in mid-Europe and cost over 25 million people their lives, which was nearly 30% of the continent's population. This disease spread rapidly, causing immune suffering and social disruption. The plague's high mortality rate, which was between 30 to 90%, left most of the people dead. Only 10% of the infected survived. The fear it instilled still devastates harmful potential of the organisms. Second, I'm going to talk about the COVID-19 virus. It started in 2019 and it's still going on today. It caused more than 6 million people to lose their life and has infected more than 2 million people. Approximately 2.5% have been infected around the world and 3% of them have died. This impacted people in a way they have never experienced before. Thirdly, and finally, I am going to talk about bioweapons. Bioweapons utilize harmful organisms to cause disease and death deliberately for military and the country's purposes. For example, anthrax disease caused by the bacterium Bacillus anthracis has a fatality rate up to 85% if untreated. The potential of bioweapons to conflict catastrophic damage of populations showcase the dark potential of microorganisms when used with malicious intent. The threat of bioterrorism adds a layer of danger to the existence of pathogenic microorganisms, emphasizing their harmful potential when exploited by humans. They may help humans to bake breads and compose human bodies, but they start killing people one by one. Thank you.
Our leader previously mentioned, we believe we cannot live without microorganisms because microorganisms are very helpful for us in industries also, like oil industries and bakery industry in producing dairy products and agricultural field and medical field. In making dairy products, we use Lactobacillus bulgaricus to make yogurt, curd and butter, cheese, etc. Do you know this? What is this? This is yogurt. You cannot make this without help of Lactobacillus bulgaricus bacteria. Do you eat this? Yes, I eat. You eat. We all eat. We cannot eat this the help of bacteria Lactobacillus bulgaricus, and we use Saccharomyces bacteria for making bread. We all eat bread. And in agricultural field, microbes play various roles in agricultural process by contributing soil health and pest control. For instance, microorganisms such as Rhizobium and Azotobacter. They have unique ability to convert atmospheric oxygen into a plant, into a usable form to plant. the plant. The root nodule present in leguminous plant. Leguminous plant provide a conductive environment for these microbes to fix nitrogen. And these microbes also help in decomposing dead matter such as animal and human. Microorganisms, moreover, offer an eco-friendly in pest controlling. We can mention Bacillus thuringiensis as a biopesticide. Our opposing team members are telling microorganisms are very harmful, but earlier I mentioned microorganisms do not harmful. We cannot live without microorganisms.
Microorganisms like bacteria is most primary cause for spoilage. They produce various enzymes to decompose the various constituents of food. If I talk about bacteria, it spoils food with relatively high burdens such as milk productions. Food spoilage causes damage or injuries in unsuitable for human consumption. Microorganisms can be highly unfavorable for humans due to their particles like furthermore, some examples for microorganisms like harmful pathogens, those are Salmonella, E. coli parasites and etc. And they also cause diseases such as common cold, HIV, polio and anthrax. They also play a role in environments such as greenhouse gases and the degradation of natural ecosystem. Managing food waste and preventing environmental contaminations is also emerged as challenges and requiring effective waste management partners. Most importantly, I want to mention that bacteria is the most dangerous of all microorganisms and responsible for several infections such as tuberculosis, cholera, diphtheria and many other diseases. Mycology is also harmful and can lead to several skin infections and allergies. I can give one example for that. Aspergillosis is one example. There are many. And if I talk about flagella, is also very harmful for human bodies and animal bodies. They also cause diseases like malaria and sleeping sickness. Excessive growth of algae known as algal blooms. Blooms can deplete in oxygen in water such as oxygen in water. So some algae produce toxins, so they also can be harmful for humans and birds. Thank you.
So, as our team members have previously mentioned, microbes are commonly known to fulfill their certain tasks that human will never be able to do without them. In the medical field, that is the most needed field in any country, and this is the great advantages of these creatures. Firstly, I would like to show the contribution of producing of antibiotics, such as penicillin, which is an antibiotic that used to treat infections. And also, do you know what is this? This is an antibiotic made by using of microorganisms. And not only antibiotics, they also used to produce probiotics. For example, a beneficial bacteria of commensal bacteria, which is used to have a lot of digestion and boost our immune system. And next, last but not least, I have to state the microbes vaccines, and they injected use the toxins and fight together and kill it, making the host healthy. For example, Aciclovir or Centimur are the most dangerous and most strangest vaccines in the world. And so now I have shown you the contribution of microbes to take care of ourselves, to prevent us from dying. And taking all those points, I talk about in a nutshell. And we can possibly conclude how microorganisms are beneficial. And now you can understand the importance of microorganisms to cure the diseases and to save the world, to save the human, thus to save the world. Thank you.
So one of our fellow proposing team members stated that without microorganisms, the bodies of dead animals would be just piling up. But I'm here to prove you wrong. There's power of nature that humans have harnessed, and that's called fire. We can burn the dead bodies. Why just leave them to decompose? That's what I'm asking. And another team member showed saying that microorganisms save lives by using antibiotics. I'm asking, did the first antibiotic that is penicillin, it still works? Probably not, because the bacteria have they are organisms, they have the ability to mutate, so they build up the resistance, so they can be invulnerable to those antibiotics. And in present day, there's a technological barrier that's preventing us from further studying microorganisms, and because of that, there are no current available and new antibiotics except for just 2 or 3 more. Plus, to produce more technology, it needs more processing power, that more powerful computers, etc. And that even need more power to run electricity. And there's still no 100% clean energy in this planet called Earth. So that's equal to more greenhouse emissions, thus more environmental pollution.
Before I start proving my point, your opposition previously mentioned that microbes are responsible for food spoilage. Now what I want to say about this is that every food is packaged in a way that is preservable. And if you consume it the way that is supposed to be, no problems will arise. Alright, now up until now, our members have pointed out the convenience of microorganisms in many fields and how humans use them. And all human, but do they not let us get their benefit without asking? They certainly do. All humans need certain environmental conditions satisfied so as to live without concern. And these concerns are satisfied by biochemical processes that take place in the environment, which are totally contributed by microorganisms. Specifically decomposition, nitrogen fixation, bioremediation, and photosynthesis. Now if I explain those two one by one, decomposition is a process where microbes such as bacteria and fungi form to break down degradable objects such as leaves, flowers, and animal matter. And I would like to say that decomposition is a process that is really essential for a country like Sri Lanka, as our main occupation is farming. And because that decomposition creates a substance called compost that is that contains nutrients. And one of our members previously explained about nitrogen fixation, and I don't think I would want to explain to you again. And another point is bioremediation. In bioremediation, microbes like fungi and bacteria break down some pollutant substances from the environment, making it more healthy to live. And photosynthesis, I would like to talk about, is mainly carried out in plants. However, but some microorganisms like cyanobacteria and algae have contained the chlorophyll that is needed for the process and is able to perform photosynthesis, and eventually it produces oxygen that we need for respiration. And I think taking all these processes I talked about into account, I can tell that microbes are not only beneficial in the human use, but also in their natural habitat. Thank you.
Well, I'm asking, if microorganisms are so beneficial, why do we wash our hands before we eat? If they're so beneficial, if they help to preserve food, why do we need to invent ways to preserve food? Why do we use them to preserve food? Because they are spoiling food. That's the reason we preserve food. Because there's a paradox in that. And secondly, some states that our proposing member states that in microorganisms saves lives, but I can take it into consideration if not for the fact that over 380,000 million people dies from E. coli alone in the United States of America, and that's only from E. coli and a so-called first world country. So if you take a look at this chart, there are this small purple box is only E. coli. So just this is the Western European part, and just this. Can you say microorganisms saves lives? Because they mostly just destroy lives. And someone stated that there's something called bioremediation. There's something called bioremediation. Yes, I agree. But with the current technology, we can't use the bioremediation to its maximum potential. Because again, as I said, research costs money and power, and that's not something that everyone has. Then, screw the planet. We can leave Earth. We can colonize Moon, Mars, or anything. But there's another barrier in that, and that's also microorganisms, because they can contaminate the airships, surroundings, and even cause cross-contamination. As an example, a microbe in the earth that living in earth can be taken to the moon, and moon is now contaminated. Think about it.
Okay, so I would like to consider that, have you injected the COVID-19 vaccine? You have, right? Well, why did we inject that? We injected the virus, not some kind of marvelous creation like medicine, but we injected the virus to our body in order to destroy the virus which is already in our body. So, the contribution of microorganisms does not end here. The scientists have shown that we can make plastics, or we can say bioplastics, from microorganisms. If you take the world is filled up with plastics. But if you use microorganisms, we can make bioplastics which can conserve the environment. And let's take our stomach. So, if I take my stomach, and if I take a cup, and I pour the stomach acid into the cup, and I add a piece of tooth into the cup, the tooth will start to decay, and the cup will also start to deteriorate itself. So, why does that? Because stomach acid is so powerful that it can deteriorate through anything. So, how are we saving our stomach from that? Because a layer of mucus, which is also a microorganism, is protecting the stomach. Okay, so if I move into electricity, well, microorganisms, the scientists have shown that microorganisms also have an electricity conductive power. So we can use microorganisms in order to make electricity. So we don't have to waste resources. Okay. And let me tell you another one. So how do we learn all this stuff even if the microorganisms are harmful or useful? Because microorganisms are going under researchers. That's why we are here today talking about this like this. And I would like to say that only 1% of the microorganisms are harmful, but 99% of the microorganisms are helpful, which can also be used to cancel those 1% of microorganisms which are harmful. And the fact is, do you identify who this organism is? This is the prokaryote bacteria, which you and me are evolved from. So, why are you precising the microbe that you guys were born with? So, thank you.
As my team member said, bioremediation cannot be helpful at all. Firstly, imagine a genetically geared microorganism, bacterium that is used for environmental cleanup, mutates and degrades critical infrastructure such as hospitals, buildings and bridges, causing widespread destruction. This is hypothetical but yet plausible. Secondly, think of a virus that bypasses our immune system. Our immune system is not that strong, but so a virus strong can cause a global pandemic far deadlier than COVID or the bubonic plague. Our medical infrastructure would be overwhelmed, resulting in worldwide deaths and even famine. Thirdly, a fungicide-resistant fungi that could decimate staple crops such as rice, corn and wheat. This could lead to famine and even conflicts over food and water. Additionally, an antibiotic-resistant bacteria called superbugs could make minor infections deadly and make routine surgeries life-threatening. And what about the life-threatening ones? The already life-threatening ones. What would happen to them? Our current antibiotics will be ineffective if that scenario was to come. And lastly, imagine a zombie virus that could reanimate the dead or severely alter human behavior. As you've seen in zombie movies, if this happens, it will lead to worldwide infections and could end human race as we know. A similar fungi called the cordyceps are in the insect world, which alters their behavior, ultimately resulting in their death. In conclusion, while vigilance, research and preparedness are essential to mitigate these dangers, but we have already researched 1% of them. There are 99% more microorganisms that are still not researched. And if 1% of them, in this 1%, we have many deadly viruses. What about the other 99%? Thank you.
So dear participants and dear spectators, the moment we have all been waiting for has arrived. It's time to unveil the team moving on to the semi-finals.
But before that exciting moment, I'd like to invite dear Kalim sir to speak a few words.
Good evening all of you. Dear Nuwan sir, the pioneer of the Cambridge Pet Course, and Board of Judges, members of the Board of Judges, and dear parents, opposing and proposing team members. This is a very important function, very important competition because all these students are going to express their thoughts, express their ideas in different ways, and they want to develop their speaking skills. So that the ultimate goal is to developing the speaking skills and try to express their ideas in a proper way. So that one sir is making a tedious effort as a highly talented teacher of English. He is making a tedious effort for enhancing the skills of the students. Because sometimes they can write, but they are unable to express their thoughts, express their ideas properly in English. So that all these 4 skills are developed by Nuwan sir, so because of his highly dedication. So I have to admire, I like to admire his dedication, and according to our judgments and we had a great opportunity to see the talents of the students. Some students have prepared very well, very successfully, and they are ready to express their ideas well. And some students look at the sheet of paper and written materials, but we should not do such things. But we have to admire those students, all these students, because they try to express their ideas according to their typing. So when you express your facts, you have to express well, read, practice, and prior preparation is the most important thing to get the highest marks and get the victories. So, but we should not neglect the others. So we have to admire all these students, because some sort of extent they made their effort to express their facts in the presence of others. As the parents are also here, they had an opportunity to get a clear-cut idea about these things, and sometimes they would also judge. Although we were judging there, three of us, the members of the board of judges, were judging and giving the marks, but sometimes the parents might judge these students. So our task is to give a reasonable judgment, so that it is an amazing item, because their ways of expressing are different, totally different. So, but we have to admire. We can see different ideas and different skills, different ways of expressing their ideas. So I wish both of these teams, and although whether you win or not win, you are admired by us because you made a tedious effort for getting the marks. Thank you very much for giving me such opportunity.
Let's take a moment to reflect the incredible performance of both teams.
Every participant has showcased impressive skills, argumentation and rebuttal. You have done a great job today. You have done a great justification for your team, playing your part, playing your role. So everyone was marvelous today and tried to do their best. So don't worry about the result, because this is not the last competition you are going to participate. You will get future tasks, future events, so you could do your best. So don't worry about the results.
Without taking more time, let's proceed to announce the result of the debate.
What could the team be?
The team. That team which not only demonstrated mastery on their topic, but also touched the hearts and the minds of the judge board with their astonishing performance.
So, the team qualified for the semi-final is...
That team is...
It's the team who scored 214 marks. The team who got selected for the semi-finals is the team led by Pamali Kavitma. It's the team led by Pamali Kavitma, followed by the members Sihina Gimhan, Rasali Niklesha and Kaumadi Shakuntala.
Congratulations.
Thank you all for the thrilling and enlightening debate. Stay tuned for the next round, where our next teams will face new challenges and continue to advocate for their case.